Hello, Sanford. You are watching the Coyotes Football Network. I'm Jonathan Weston. Welcome to the Howler. And it is the week that I think every Sanford fan has been waiting for this year. The Sanford College Coyotes head out to California to play the UCLA Bruins. It's going to be a fun one, that's for sure, with the way the Coyotes have been playing, especially these last 2 weeks. But the big thing is going to be, can they hang with the defending national champions? And it is going to be a huge test for quarterback John Scott. He's going to have to play some of his best football if he wants to win, especially going up against a Heisman candidate on the other side of the football. The quarterback for UCLA. We'll talk about that a little later in the program. Let's talk a little bit about recruits here, because there was some big news with recruiting this week. Clayton Fink, of course, visiting last week, had a very, very good visit from what I was told. Visited his brother, Grant Fink. I mean, it was nice to see that. And, of course, the big thing with Fink is getting him in here to be a guard. He may be blocking for his brother at some point. Who knows at this point? But another name to keep in mind, Tristan Newsome, the tackle out of Huntington, New York. Right now, from what I've heard, he's very impressed with Sanford after visiting. And Ohio State has dropped a bit. Now, it hasn't been the biggest thing just yet. So keep that in mind, folks. But Newsome does like Sanford. He's got no visits set up with Ohio State, so there is a chance Sanford could keep the impressive lead they have right now. And it could be their opportunity to bring a big offensive lineman here into Sanford to help fix up that offensive line that's had a couple issues this season. Kicker, so far, nothing more to report on Adam Carr. It sounds like he will be a Coyote in the coming weeks. That is for certain. Big news, though, is Terry Robinson, the athlete out of Three Rivers, Michigan. It is a two-man race, I feel, at this point. Sanford and Washington. And what it sounds like is he continues to go back and forth. I have heard he's a fan of Sanford. I have heard he's a big fan of Washington. And he continues to really bobble the two back and forth. And I don't know who's going to get the lead on that one. Quarterback Connor Matthews, very similar situation to kicker Adam Carr. It's kind of all been put in place for the most part. Everybody expects Matthews to sign with Sanford. Now, Chris Burley, the young man out of Haines City, Florida, the athletic freak that the coaching staff really wants to get here right now. It's going to take some talking to him. Of course, he's very iffy on it from the sounds of things. We'll see if that continues to go upward as time progresses. Tackle John Barnes, very impressed with Sanford so far, it seems. That's good coming from his camp. And Graham Peterson, I think he's heard news of Chris Burley, and he seems to be not as kind of focused on Sanford as a lot of people expected. There's a lot of questions there with him. I don't know exactly if that's going to go anywhere. And fullback Joey Jackson currently, from what I know, has Sanford up top of his board. Now let's talk about some new commits. Ryan Schimmel, the tight end, has committed to Sanford. He is built very similar to a receiver, but he is a much better blocker. Keep that in mind. He does not have the greatest hands. It's going to take him a year or two, I think, to really become a receiving threat. But I think Schimmel, given time, could be a very balanced tight end for this roster. And also, they got tackle Charles Edwards, so add some offensive line depth to your list of not needs, because Charles Edwards is a nice young tackle. It's going to take him probably about a year, maybe two, to really step into the spot Sanford wants him to be in before he's given the reins to take over a starting spot. But I like what Charles Edwards has going for him, so I think they've got a good young tackle there. Now, the American Athletics Conference Players of the Week this week. You've got Lou Mitchell out of Temple, And Darrell Reese, the quarterback of SMU, Sanford knows him quite well. He had a big day with over 100 yards rushing and 331 yards passing. Huge win over ECU for the Mustangs. But let's talk about what really matters, and that's the AAC standings, because Sanford is currently on top. There are only 4 undefeated teams in conference. You have SMU, USF, Cincinnati, and Sanford. So it's a very interesting situation there. Sanford, of course, not having to worry about conference play this week as they face the defending national champions. But it's anyone's race at this point in the AAC, and I think that is going to be something to definitely keep your eye on all year long. Now let's look at the top 25 because it's number 5 versus number 7 this week. UCLA hosting Sanford, and this is a huge opportunity for the Coyotes. I actually got to talk to some of the young players before they left to head out, and one of my favorites was quarterback John Scott. Now, we all remember Claude Fleming with the whole rankings last year. He was not having it. He felt disrespected by the way they were ranking Sanford. John Scott may be the most confident player that has ever stepped foot into Sanford. I asked him about the game against the defending national champions. His response, and I quote, "They may be the defending national champions, but they've never played us. They've never played me. And this week, I'm going to show them why they don't want to." So a lot of confidence coming out of a young man who 2 weeks ago had 6 total touchdowns. So a very good situation too coming into this ball game for John Scott. He's scored 8 total touchdowns, 7 through the air, no interceptions. It's a good situation for him coming into this ball game. And surprisingly, Kirk Herbstreit is taking the Bruins over the red-hot Sanford Coyotes. So, hey, it is trap game territory if you're a Bruin fan. That is certain. If you're a Coyote fan, well, it's just another day upsetting a big contender. Now, to talk about the situation here, we've seen Sanford take on defending national champions before. The only other time it happened was against Oklahoma. And that was a much different Sanford team back then. But they got manhandled. This is a different Sanford football team. You have a different quarterback under center. You have a different mentality, I feel like, in this team. And it's a whole different situation when you're ranked number 7 in the nation. Sanford is a top 10 program right now. And they have a very good chance of moving up to the top 5 after a win over UCLA. I mean, if they beat the defending national champions, you've got to think that everything looks better for them. You might even argue that this should be the national title. This should be a national title year if they can beat the defending national champions. However, the national champs have a couple of big players. They have their running back, Bobby Lowe. We won't be talking too much about him. He's not, in my opinion, the biggest threat to Sanford. The biggest threat is under center, though. And also the top wide receiver. It's a very similar situation, I'd say, to Sanford. Quarterback Patrick Sellers, the senior. He has had a remarkable season, is up for the Heisman. Last I checked, I believe he's number 3 or number 4 for the Heisman Trophy. 20 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, over 1,500 yards, and a 62.9% completion percentage. This is a very talented young quarterback. This Sanford defense is going to have their hands full, no matter if it's the ground game with Bobby Lowe, who is a very solid running back, whether it's Patrick Sellers throwing or running the football, or whether he's getting that ball to his top wide receiver, Cedric Hall. He's right now got 563 yards, averaging around 15 yards per carry. 9 touchdowns on the season. and he's averaging about close to 46, 47 points a game. So he has had a very good year, but he doesn't just have Hall to go to. He is the junior tight end that I think most Sanford fans will recognize, Ian Harlow. Harlow was a recruit that Sanford went hard after, but of course they couldn't win him away from Cali's UCLA Bruins. So he's having a solid year as well, 221 total yards and 2 touchdowns. However, I think the battle here between Harlow and Theory, a little bit of bias there, I think Theory wins that one. Now their defense at UCLA is a big one, as James Anderson, the 6'2", 262 senior, is a guy to watch on the edge. He's got 1.5 sacks so far this year, 16 assisted, and 7 solo tackles. So a very solid start to the year for James Anderson. Although the leader of this team is Andrew McNamara. 5.5 sacks, 24 assisted tackles, 13 for a loss, and 15 solo tackles. He is a monster. He's even got 1 pass deflected this year, and he's looking to do a lot of damage, I'm sure, to John Scott, and to get that confidence a lot lower than it is right now. In the secondary, you have Pat Anderson, their number 1 corner. He's got 1 interception on the year and 7 pass deflections. So Williams is going to have a tough time, I think, finding some room. It's not going to be as easy to hit number 10 and hit those big plays that we're used to seeing from this Sanford offense this year. Now let's talk about the Sanford side of things. Of course, we begin with John Scott, who's had a phenomenal last 2 weeks of play. He's thrown for over 1,100 yards so far, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. 239 yards averaging per game, and of course 79.2% completion percentage. Absolutely astounding there. Now, he may not attempt as many passes as some of the other big name quarterbacks, but he is a guy to watch. And when you're not throwing the football, you've got to watch out for Joe Baker, because if he can find room, whether it's off a screen pass or whether you are going to the pure ground running attack, he can find room and break one. He's averaging 46.2 yards a game, 3 touchdowns so far on the season. He hasn't rushed more than 20 yards. He hasn't had a rush more than 20 yards yet this season, but be careful. He might just do it this week. Now let's talk about Josh Williams, arguably the biggest weapon on offense. 461 total yards so far, 6 touchdowns, and he's averaging 92 yards a game. He is having his best year as a Coyote, and I don't expect it to get worse. And on the defensive side, you have Justin Moss, the big defensive tackle. He's taken over quite well for Big Joe Irvin. 4 sacks on the year from the run stuffer, 19 solo tackles, and of course 1 assisted. He has forced 1 fumble, and he has been a monster on that defensive line. It's going to be hard to watch him go this offseason. Going from a senior to a freshman, let's talk about Keith Darby, who looked very impressive on his pick 6 last week. He's got 3 pass deflections, of course the interception for a touchdown last week, and 9 solo tackles. He's been a very, very good player in his first year. And of course, to finish things off, the senior strong safety Daniel Clemens, who was a shocker last season, putting up a very good year, and he's doing a very solid job this year. No magic numbers right now, but he has had a very solid year from that strong safety spot. Now let's talk a bit about how this matchup looks for the Coyotes this week, and it's something we're not used to talking about. We're not used to talking about a big fight feel for the Coyotes. We're not used to talking about a game that could make or break your season as a possible national championship contender. The Coyotes, for the first time in school history, look like they might contend for that national title. And if they can beat UCLA, you're not only defeating the defending national champions, and I'd say effectively kicking them out of a chance to defend their title, but you're also putting yourself in a very, very good spot to possibly be sitting in that BCS championship game come bowl season. Now, I could be entirely wrong and think that, this is a lot bigger than it actually is. But it looks to me like a win this week not only impresses the media that's putting together the polls and all of that, but it impresses the fan base here at Sanford. It surprises everyone on national television, and it puts the Coyotes on the map. This team's been waiting for a chance to showcase themselves against top-tier competition. Well, they're getting defending national champions this week. We'll see if they can live up to the hype that not only John Scott has put up for them, it seems, but as well as the rest of the team, because I can tell you this team is extremely confident that they can defeat UCLA this weekend. And, when a team's this confident, it's tough to break down that kind of confidence. And it's tough to really make them feel like they can't get the job done. I'd be surprised to see Coach Wolf not feel as confident as these kids, but he doesn't like to look too far ahead, and I'm sure he's not thinking about already having a W over the Bruins and surprising everybody. He's thinking more so about how they're going to pull away a W in UCLA. But with that being said, folks, we're just about out of time here for the Howler. It's going to be a fun one this weekend. It's going to be one of the biggest matchups Sanford has ever been in. And I'm going to be right up there in the stadium calling that game for you folks here on the Coyotes Football Network. I've been Jonathan West. You've been watching the Howler. And it is going to be a big fight field this week as the Coyotes take on the Bruins. Hello, Sanford. You are watching the Coyotes Football Network. I'm Jonathan West, and welcome to Southern California, where it is pouring down rain here in UCLA Stadium as the Sanford College Coyotes face the defending national champions, the UCLA Bruins. And this rain is going to make it an entirely different ballgame, I'm thinking, than most people expected. I think we all expected a pass-happy attack from both sides. Well, now we might get a down and dirty, old school, run the ball down the opponent's throat type of football game. We'll see how the rain affects them. I didn't expect any rain in the forecast, and certainly am surprised by this. It's going to be a very interesting game, to say the least, even more so than it already was with these two teams matching up. The Coyotes, of course, number 5 in the nation with their pass offense. UCLA, number 6. I'm still expecting to see some high-octane passing attack here out of both sides, but with this rain falling, it looks to me like it's going to be one of those days where you want to ground and pound your opponent into the dust to weaken them down plenty for possibly a struggling passing attack. And we are off here on the Coyotes Football Network, UCLA Sanford, as Chad Riley returns it, and he can't find a ton of room, but he will get a 19-yard return out of it up past the 20. So it's 1st and 10 from around the 21. Scott going to throw immediately, and that's what the rain will do to you, folks. Off the mark quickly. I believe that was intended for Garrett Theory. 2nd and 10 out of the I-form. They're going to the air again. Scott, off play action, connects with Theory this time around in the middle of 3 defenders. That was a tight window to get that ball into. It's 1st and 10, and they go handoff to Chad Collins from that fullback position. He'll pick up 4 yards. A little surprised to see him go with that this early. They normally save that for those short yardage situations. As on 2nd and 6, it is a run by Joe Baker. They'll take the 4 yards as Sanford's starting to ground and pound a little bit here now. 3rd and 2, Scott out of the gun. Wanted to hit Baker on the angle route, couldn't do so as it was batted back in his face. And look at this on 4th down, Sanford going for the fake punt. It doesn't work out. as Jean-Paul Valley is picked off again. The second time that's happened this year. Hakeem Haram on the interception, and it's going to be very solid field position for UCLA. The Bruins in a good spot right now as Huff the man in motion. Patrick Sellers hands off to Lowe, and he's powering his way past defenders. Pat Riley missed him on 2 occasions there, and it's an 8-yard gain. 2nd and 2 now as a no-huddle offense begins to take shape. As play action by Sellers, he'll connect with Huff on the check down. He's brought down, though, by a combination of Adam Woods and, I believe, Scott Boyd. 1st and 10, under center is Sellers, and out of the eye they go Bobby Lowe on the ground, and Lowe's got room around that left side down to the 20. The UCLA Bruins have entered the red zone, folks. They keep going with their no-huddle offense as they go back to Lowe, and Lowe's got more room to work with. He's going to gain 5, so it'll be a manageable 2nd and 5 coming up here. They continue the up-tempo offense. 2nd and 5. Huff the man in motion. Sellers off the play fake, and he can't connect. Believe that was Ian Harlow, the intended target, but it's off his hands. 3rd and 5 in the shotgun. The defense has a chance to hold him as Sellers hits Cedric Hall, and that is a 1st down in a very tight window. 7 yards and a new set of downs for the Bruins. They continue their no-huddle offense. As Sellers in the shotgun, he'll take the snap, hands off to Warren, and he's dropped quickly. A loss of 3 for Colin Warren. Sam Williams, the man who brought him down. 2nd and goal now. Under center is Sellers, and he'll hand back off to Lowe, but Bobby Lowe can't find much room this time around. They stop him for only a gain of 4. 3rd and goal. Big situation for Sanford. And wait a minute. There's a flag, and that's going to move them back 5 yards. Well, let's put Sanford in a nicer situation now. They know they've got to throw the football, so they're going to be ready for this one. 3rd and goal. Sellers dropping back over the middle. Taken away, Dylan Trevor, the hometown boy. The young man from Sanford, Maine, gets a big interception at the right time. So Sellers, the Heisman candidate, throws the pick to the outside linebacker, Trevor. It's a big 1st down now for Sanford in their own territory. The option goes wrong as it was a fumble by Tyrese Baker, picked up by Jackson in the end zone, and they're going to call it a safety. Well, I did not expect the first points of the day to be a safety by UCLA, but the Bruins have scored 2. So on 1st down, they jump once again. That's going to move them back 5 yards early. You don't want to start a drive with a false start penalty. That's just not the exact way the defending champs would like to get this going as Sellers drops back on 2nd down. Wide open Cedric Hall, and barely was Keith Darby able to get to Hall. That's a 30-yard completion. 1st and 10 as the no-huddle continues. Sellers drops back, connects with Ian Harlow. That's going to be a 4-yard gain, and Dustin Jordan was on him there. 2nd and 6. Under center is Sellers. It's an offset I form. Handoff goes to Bobby Lowe. He's got running room, a stiff arm there on Clemens, and enough for the 1st. Gain of 6 on that run. It's a new set of downs as Sellers tried the fake snap, didn't work out, and that's going to move his own lineman back after a false start. That hard count didn't work out on Sanford. They are too disciplined for that, it seems. As Sellers on 1st and 15, they go to the ground, and it's not going to go anywhere. dropped for a loss by Matthew Fowler, the middle linebacker. He was all over him. Darby was the first man there, though. Second and 17. Sellers drops back. And that one's intended for Hall, but out of bounds. Third and 17 coming up. Can Sanford hold them? So here we go, folks. Third and 17. Man in motion's Harlow. Sellers takes the snap, looks to throw. And what a play by Keith Darby! A diving deflection, forcing fourth down. As now UCLA has to kick it. The kick is up, and it is wide right. That is no good. It will remain 2-0 as we take you to an update here. South Carolina currently 2 scores over Tennessee here early in the second quarter of play. Or I'm sorry, it's 14-10 early in the second quarter of play there. As back to UCLA. Scott trying to throw here, but he can't get it off in time. He's going to lose 8 on that. That's Ira Hendricks, their big man up front, the big defensive tackle. He's fast for a guy his size, and he can do a lot of damage. Reminds me a lot of Big Joe Irvin. After the sack, 2nd and 18 in the shotgun. Sanford setting up a screen, and Baker has some blocks. He's got the outside of the 40 and past midfield down at about the 44-yard line. A big 34-yard screen. That is huge. Not only a nice momentum boost for Scott to get a completion in there, but huge play for Joe Baker and great fight to gain even more yards. First and 10 for Scott and company as Joseph checks in. And Tom Joseph going to bring in a little more power to the game now as a 5-yard gain there. Second and 5, Scott in the I formation. He'll go play action again. It's that same play they hit earlier. This time it's Williams over the middle, and that's a 26-yard connection. The first reception of the day for the top target here at Sanford. And that is a big first down completion, putting Sanford in the red zone. Well, it's 1st and 10 now from about, I'd say, the 14. Scott looks to throw. He connects with Pat Jackson, and that is a 12-yard gain down to the 2. First and goal here. They have a big opportunity. Scott hands off to Baker right up the gut, but can't get it in. It will be 2nd and goal now. 2nd and goal. I formation. Scott tried to go over the middle. He tried to go over the top for the QB sneak. Lost the football. Luckily recovered by Chad Collins there. That will take us to the end of the first quarter. It's 2-0 UCLA on top of Sanford. But Sanford right at the goal line waiting to score. Welcome back, everybody, to UCLA as Sanford takes on the defending champs. As down goes John Scott as he is brought down by Andrew McNamara. The middle linebacker gets his 6th and a half sack of the season. So Sanford has to settle for a field goal, but hey, nonetheless, it is a Sanford lead. Their first lead of the day by 1. It's 3-2, Sanford on top of the Bruins as Sellers goes to the ground here on first down to Lowe, and that's a 9-yard gain. 2nd and 1 now under center Sellers. He'll go back to Lowe, and he's, slowed down, but does get enough for that first down. Just barely, though. 1st and 10 under center is Sellers. He'll drop back. Connects with Ian Harlow. He shakes off Daniel Clemens and is brought down by Matthew Fowler. A gain of 17 and another big first down. UCLA is driving as Sellers looks to take off here, and it's going to be a 5-yard gain as he's brought down by Sam Williams. Second and 5 under center Sellers. He'll drop back. And he can't connect this time with Harlow as he's just off the mark. Third and 5 coming up. Under center is Sellers. He'll drop back. Well, now he rolls out, looks to run immediately, and what a run it is. A huge 19-yard gain and an enormous first down for the Bruins. They have pretty much entered the red zone as Sellers sets up the screen to Lowe, and that will keep them away from that 20-yard line, as that will keep them at the line of scrimmage. No gain there. Second and 10 as they continue their no-huddle offense. Sellers hands off out of shotgun to Lowe, and he'll be down at around the 22-yard line. Third and 8 coming up. As Sellers drops back, looks to throw. Somehow Hall collects it, and he loses the football, but it goes out of bounds. So it will be a first down for UCLA. As Sellers goes play action on the run, trying to power his way in, couldn't get there. Trevor and Woods combine on the tackle. Second and goal here. Sellers hands off to Warren, and that is going to be a gain for no yards whatsoever. Third and goal coming up. Third and goal, offset I formation, but there's another jump it looks like. As that will be another false start, as it looks like UCLA is having a lot of trouble getting that hard count going. Third and goal from around the 6. Sellers looks to throw as the screen didn't set up in time. That is fourth down coming up. So they have to settle for a field goal, as UCLA will get their lead back, but it is only by 2 points. 5-3. First and 10 now for Sanford with little over 5 minutes left to go here in the first half. Baker with a short gain on the ground there. Second and 7. Scott looks to throw. Over the middle, connects with Baker through the air, and that's going to be a 7-yard gain. Nearly enough for the first down. They'll mark him just short. Third and inches. Collins in the game, and they'll go his way as he just stiff arms one man and gets brought down by the second. A gain of 6 and enough for the first down. First and 10, offset I form. They go Baker again on the ground, but he is caught. A gain of only 1 yard there. A little disappointing on that one. Second and 9. They'll go option here as Tyrese Baker checked in. This time he won't take the hit. He'll just slide down for a gain of around 6. So it's manageable. Third and 3. Play action here. Scott throws, connects with Gillette off the play action, and that is a big 24-yard connection. Sanford starting to really feel the momentum, as that's the first catch of the day for Adam Gillette. Big 24-yarder as Sanford now right in front of the red zone. First and 10 from the 21. Scott takes the snap, looks to throw, and he connects with the wrong jersey. That's Anderson. Pat Anderson on the run, and I don't think anyone's going to catch him. 10-5 touchdown UCLA. It's an enormous pick 6. That's tough to see, as now Scott has to recover from that. As first and 10, he connects this time with Williams, and this time it's a 17-yard gain for Sanford. Big plus points there. First and 10, they're setting up the screen for Baker again, but not much this time around. UCLA plays it well, only a gain of 2. As Scott throws, finds Williams in a small window. What a throw and catch. Wow, what a play. As a huge first down, taking them into Bruins territory. There's less than a minute to go here in the half. as Scott overthrows Garrett Theory. He was open too. That's really disappointing there. Second and 10. Scott setting up another screen. Baker is open, but he gets brought down, unable to make the man miss. It is a loss of 2 on that play. We'll take another look at it. Is really, the screen was set up perfectly. One man gets through, and at that point, there's not much left to do. Third and 12. They go back to the bread and butter in that mesh, and it works out. Adam Gillette, 16 yards and a first down. They're at least in field goal range as a deep ball to the end zone. That's broken up by Douglas Hollis. Almost there for Williams. That was Tyrese Baker throwing the ball. Second and 10. Scott looks to throw. He connects with Theory, and that's going to be down and around the 5 or 6 yard line. First and goal. Scott over the middle. He's got 2 men, as I believe Williams stopped on his route there. At least from the looks of it, that's what it looked like. Second and goal. Scott looks to throw again. It's the same situation with those quick slants, but this time it doesn't work out again. Batted away by McNamara as they will take the field goal to end the half. It's 6-12. A tight one here as we take you to an update. Tulane over Memphis, 14-7. They've still got plenty of time in the first half. It's a tight one in that ball game right now. So 6-12, UCLA on top of Sanford. We'll see what the second half has in store here on the Coyotes Football Network. Welcome back, everyone, to UCLA as the Sanford College Coyotes are visiting, and they are doing some damage, but it's still UCLA's ball game right now. That's an 18-yard gain there to Ian Harlow on the connection, 1st and 10. They go handoff to Bobby Lowe, and he doesn't get far. Only a gain of 2 on that one. Second and 8. Man in motion is Harlow. Sellers drops back. They're setting up a screen, but it took too long, and there's Scott Boyd. Big hit on Sellers, as that is a big sack for Sanford there. That'll make it now 3rd and 17. Well, UCLA has a tough test in front of them. 3rd and long here. Shotgun formation. Sellers looks to throw. He takes a shot downfield. Jordan with some great coverage and breaking that up by that pass intended for Cedric Hall. Sanford takes back over, and they begin on the ground. That's Joe Baker, a 6-yard gain. Second and 4 now. Scott hands off to Baker, and he's going to find enough room. That's a 5-yard gain and enough for the first down. This Sanford offense finding a way to make things happen. Let's see if they can keep it up. It's out of the gun. They're going back to the screen. They've done it a couple times today. This time it doesn't work out. Only a gain of 1. Second and 9. Tom Joseph in the ball game, and he sees the ball go his way on the ground, and he got upended there. A 5-yard gain, though, on the ground. 3rd and 4. Baker in the ball game. Scott to throw. Rolling out. Connects with Theory, and that is a first down. He barely got the first, but a great throw by Scott to get that ball to Theory. As it is 1st and 10 once again, and they go back to Joe Baker. A 7-yard gain on this run, as that will make it manageable. 2nd and 3. Newman, the man in motion, as Scott goes play action here. He connects with Theory again, and the freshman tight end collects 22 on that reception. As now the offense seems to be feeling it. Everything going Sanford's way now. 1st and 10. Scott out of the gun. To the end zone. That's a touchdown! It was double coverage on Josh Williams, but the ball was placed perfectly where Williams can make a play on it. And Williams does what he does best, and that's make the play and score for Sanford. We'll take you to some more updates here right before half. Tulane over top of Memphis, 17-14. Is a very tight one there in New Orleans. Welcome back, everyone, to UCLA. It's 13-12. Sanford on top once again. As over the middle, a great play on the football by Gordon Sutton to deflect that one. Second and 10 now for UCLA. As the man in motion is Ian Harlow, the tight end. Sellers drops back. He connects with Richardson, and that's going to be enough for the first. He shook off a couple of would-be defenders as UCLA gets their first down of this drive. First and 10, setting up a screen. This time they actually get it off to Lowe, but he loses 4. Great defensive play by Sam Williams. He was all over that, ran right with it, and just came down to make the big hit on Lowe. Second and 14. Under center is Sellers. They go to Lowe now on the ground instead of a screen through the air. And it is a 4-yard gain, so he gets the lost yardage back. Third and 9. Sellers to the sideline. It's a catch for Jay Wilkerson. An 11-yard gain and enough for the first. New set of downs as they go to the ground with Lowe again. And he is stopped for only a gain of 2. The Sanford defense has really checked in on Bobby Lowe. As a pass to the fullback there, kind of acting as almost a running play to a point. Gain of 6 yards. As third and 1, and Sanford looks like they're going to bring it. That they do, as Sellers tries the option, but he doesn't get enough. He is just short of a first down. UCLA decided to punt, and Sanford's got the football back. As look at the run by Baker. A 22-yard rush, and before today, he had not a single rush of 20 yards. Well, there's his first on the year. First and 10. Hand off to Tom Joseph now to spell Baker after that long one. It's a 7-yard gain for the much more powerful back. Second and 3. Jackson, the man in motion. He'll take the jet sweep. He's got some blocks. Look at the jet sweep finally work out for Sanford big time. That is the first time the jet sweep has really worked out in favor of Sanford. A big 18-yard gain on that last jet sweep as Scott throws downfield. Patrick Jackson! 33-yard touchdown reception. First, it's an 18-yard jet sweep. Next play, 33-yard touchdown catch. Patrick Jackson doing it all there on that drive, it just seems. Sanford trying to add to their lead, making a 2-possession game with a 2-point conversion. The pitch goes out to Baker. He was slowed up at least by Nick Brown, was the defensive back, as that is a big play by Sanford. 9-point ball game as Bobby Lowe gets the handoff, and that may be the last play of the third quarter, gain of 7. That indeed will take us to the end of the third quarter. 21-12, Sanford on top of the defending national champions. Final quarter of play coming up after this. Welcome back, everyone, to UCLA for the final quarter of play. 21-12, Sanford on top, but Bobby Lowe on the ground, gaining 7 more yards. He's finding room now. This is not going to bode well for Sanford if he continues to run the football well. As a screen here set up for Matt Richardson, but he goes nowhere. Dustin Jordan on top of that one. Great job by Jordan there. Second and 11. Sellers hands off to Lowe, and that's going to be a gain of 2 on that run. He wasn't going far. So 3rd and 10 here now. Shotgun formation for the Bruins. Sellers looks to throw. Pressure comes in though, and he goes down. Dylan Crosby. He has been a sack machine this year, being alongside Justin Moss. It's been great to see the sophomore play so well. Well, a new drive here, I should say, for Sanford. They hand off to Baker, and it's going to be a gain of 5 here on first down. They can do whatever they want here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and kill out the clock. As I say that, Scott looks to throw downfield, and that one batted away. Intended for Josh Williams, and lucky that was only batted away. 3rd and 5, Scott under center. He'll drop back, looking to throw, going downfield, and there were 3 men around the football. Walker comes up with it. That wasn't a smart decision. I think that it's obvious Scott got overconfident, wanted the big play to Williams, and took a shot he didn't need to there. A big pick by UCLA as they get the football back. As Sellers, wide open, Cedric Hall, and that is down to the 20. In one play, they are down to the red zone. 1st and 10, Sellers goes play action. Doesn't look like he finds anything he wants as he takes off, and that's going to be a gain down to around the 5. And if it wasn't for Fowler, that probably would have been a touchdown. 1st and goal. Sellers drops back, looks to throw, as he just throws it away. Good coverage by Sanford on that play. 2nd and goal now. The defense rotates some guys in, as Sellers goes option into the end zone. And UCLA makes this one a little bit closer now, as it's going to be 18-21. I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to go extra point or not. We'll take you to an update. This game has gotten very high scoring in New Orleans, 45-38. Tulane over top of Memphis. Welcome back, everyone, to UCLA, as Sanford is still leading by 2, as UCLA elected to only go for the extra point, as Joe Baker with a nice first down run gain of 8 on that one. 2nd and 2 now. Handoff goes to Collins, who checked in, and he bounces to the outside and fights his way upfield. 7 yards and a first down. That did not look like it was going to gain enough. 1st and 10. Scott off play action connects with Garrett Theory. And a big first down. If Sanford can get more points on the board, they may put this one away. 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Tom Joseph on the misdirection. And it is a gain of 3. Joseph not finding much there. As 2nd and 7. Scott hands off to Baker, looking for more room on the ground. They can't find much. A gain of 3. But that will set up a manageable 3rd and 4. Shotgun formation. Tom Joseph in the ball game as Scott takes the snap. It's a setup screen. Nobody's in front of Joseph. He gets a block. 10-5. Touchdown, Sanford. 39-yard touchdown reception. It might be a screen, but it is a touchdown pass. Sanford going to be up by at least 8 points. They could possibly put this away entirely, I think, with 2-point conversion. But I would just stick with your 9-point lead. As we take you to one more update here, it's all tied up in the 4th quarter of play down in New Orleans. Memphis and Tulane tied at 45 apiece. It's a fun one down there. Welcome back, everyone, to UCLA. We've got under 3 minutes left to go as Sellers takes off on first down. He finds enough for the first down, and that is going to be a 13-yard run. 1st and 10. Sellers looks to throw. He'll take off again. He's dragged down, though, as that's only going to gain 1. That was Justin Moss that brought him down. 2nd and 9. Sellers looking over the middle. Connects with Matt Richardson. He sheds off Clemens and is brought down by a combination of defenders. 1st and 10. Sellers takes the snap. Connects with Matt Richardson again on a check down. That's going to be a gain of 6. They continue their no huddle as under 2 minutes left to go. Sellers looks to throw downfield. It's dropped by Harlow. No good. That should have been a touchdown. Sanford is lucky it wasn't. 3rd and 4. Man in motion as Sellers takes the snap. He looks to throw, and that's to the sidelines. It's Chad James for a 1-yard completion. 4th and 3. Sellers hands off to Lowe, surprisingly, and he finds enough around that left side. It's a 1st down for UCLA. As Sellers looks to throw, connects with Lowe. That's a loss of 3, though, as he couldn't find any room. Daniel Clemens brought him down quickly. Great play by Clemens to see where Lowe was, really just check him down and really set him up. He got right in front of him and brought him down perfectly. 2nd and 13. Sellers connects with Lumpkin as a nice block was made there, and Lumpkin's got room. Down to the 10, brought down by Tyrone Justice. 1st and goal. Man in motion is Harlow. This is a big play for UCLA if they score. Sellers to the 1-yard line. Chad James. 2nd and goal from the 1. Sellers hands off. That's Warren in the end zone. It's a 1-possession game, folks. It is a 1-possession ball game. As UCLA sets up for an onside kick. The kick is through, and Newman picks it up. It's going to be game over with 1 first down. Gutierrez, the man in motion. Baker takes the handoff. He takes a big shot for his troubles. It is a gain of 7. First time out by UCLA. 2nd and 3. Scott takes an option here, but he's not going to go anywhere. A loss of 2 there. 3rd and 5. UCLA's only got 1 timeout left. Hand off to Baker, and he can't get there. 4th and 1. Sanford keeping their offense out there. They want to end it. Hand off to Collins. Spins off of a defender. He's got the first. Game over. Sanford just defeated the defending national champions. Your player of the game is awarded to John Scott for 330 yards and 3 touchdowns, 19 and 27 through the air. Of course, he had the 2 interceptions, one of which a poor decision to throw to Theory, which was taken all the way back. And of course, the overconfidence getting to him a bit as he took a shot that didn't need to be made. But nonetheless, 28-26, your Sanford College Coyotes defeat the UCLA Bruins, the former national champions. I mean, that's huge. That is huge. You want to talk about a huge momentum boost going into the rest of conference play. You just beat the defending national champions. You got to feel like no one else can beat you. It's going to be fun to see how the rest of this season goes, as I cannot wait, folks, for more Sanford College football. I've been Jonathan West. This has been the Coyotes Football Network. We will see you next week.